Hi everyone. Week 7 is here already, as you already know. This is going to be a little screencast on citation and credibility, determining the credibility of sources and learning how to use different citation styles. Citation is a pretty important part of what we do in writing in academic settings. Again, we've talked a little bit about plagiarism and giving credit where credit is due, and one of the best ways to do that is through citations. And there are many different styles of citation formats, so you may use different styles as you go through your career. You may use styles already in parts of your work if you publish or if you write for particular audiences. And there will be a couple of styles I'll ask you to learn the basics of, not a whole lot of. And then at your time at ILIF, there are people that may ask you to use different kinds of styles. For the most part, the important part about citation style is to be consistent. Even if you use a modified style, so you take one of the styles that's out there, like APA or Turabian, and you modify it a bit to do whatever you want to do. Even if you do that, if you're consistent, then you'll probably be okay with most of your instructors. What all of them will ask for is consistency. So if you cite something, cite it the same way every time, and all of your citations use the same kind of syntax. Same kind of format, same periods and places or commas, page numbers, that kind of stuff. So be consistent. That's the key point. You will have some faculty that will specify clearly, I want you to use APA or Turabian or Chicago or something like that. And then you'll have other professors who will have their own sort of style that they'll tell you they want it a particular way. And all of those are good learning experiences, because down the road you may write a piece for a journal or something, and just about every journal out there has their own idiosyncratic citation style. So it's not going to be enough to just learn one style and use it all the time. You've got to be able to move between styles and be able to use what you already have in a style and then reformat it for another style, which is part of why in our outline and bibliography assignment you're asked to do a bibliography in Turabian and then convert it to APA, so you know those two styles. So in terms of credibility, we've talked a little bit about this before. How do we decide if we can trust or use a web resource or any resource? How do we decide that it's credible and useful source? So those are two of the things we'll be playing with here this week. So on our course site, you'll see that I've put up two main resources for you for the credibility and citation resources. So here is the assessing credibility link. So this is from Debbie Kramer when she's taught this class before. Whoops, gotta log in. And you'll see here there's a whole, she's giving you a whole lot of really interesting, and she's crystallized a whole bunch of resources into a really nice, succinct 5 criteria for credibility. These aren't the only possible criteria. This isn't the way you have to define credibility for yourself, but this is a good way to start thinking about how you figure out if a source is credible or not, particularly on the internet. And so read through this, and you will use these 5 criteria in the credibility part of the sources and credibility worksheet. So it's these 5 terms here that show up again on that worksheet. So that's the credibility piece to take a look at. And if you find any other resources and want to share those with us, by all means do that on Digo. And then in terms of citation, first of all, you have Turabian. Part 2 of your Turabian book is largely a huge section full of examples and instructions for how to do citation in the Turabian style. Turabian is the most dominant style used at ILIF, so if you're going to lean into one style, lean into Turabian. And Turabian is a modified form of the Chicago style, which is a massive book if you haven't seen it. It's huge and covers all kinds of different possibilities, both of formatting documents like a term paper and of citations. So anyway, on our Moodle site, I have given you a link to our Digo group and to the tag citation or citations in our Digo group. So I've tagged some bookmarks in Digo with citations as a tag, and then this will be the list of those. So if you click on that, you'll have to log in. Make sure you sign into Digo. If you're not, you may already be signed in because you may be using Digo anyway. So once you sign in, it'll take you back here. So again, I'm going to show you how I got here again. Just because you click on the citation resources, and it pops me out here to our groups. This is our group site, and here are some things I've tagged as pertinent to citation. And most of these links, you'll see a couple of them are for Purdue, the OWL. We've used OWL before. You've all seen that. So the Chicago, again, the big Chicago is the more expansive version of Turabian. You have MLA and you have APA. And OWL does a really nice job of going through the details of each of those kinds of styles if you're interested. And then the two I want you to pay the closest attention to this week are the two bottom ones on here. The Turabian Citation Guide, which is a web version, really like a web summary of Turabian, the book Turabian you have. You see it's called Turabian Quick Guide. See that? So this is a great thing to bookmark and have available when you're writing papers, because it gives you examples of the main kinds of citations you'll need to do without having to go thumb through the book. Now, if you have, small details or kind of rare things, then this may not help you because it doesn't cover all the possibilities, whereas the book will cover more variations. But here's a good place to start. And the two items you want to pay attention to are N and B. N is a note, so that's how you will format a note, a foot or an end note in a paper. And then B is a bibliography, so that's how you'll format your bibliography entry. So for this week's assignment, you'll be using the B format. So go ahead and give that a spin. That's a really, really, really useful site, so you want to keep that one in mind. And then back at our group, let's see, back here, then the basics of APA style. This is another one that's very important, particularly for this assignment. And for some of you, will use APA more often if you head towards psychology and things like that. So when you get to this site, you just click on this View the Tutorial link, and it'll take you into a set of slides that have some audio that you can play. So you can listen to the audio, etc., etc. Now, don't worry too much about getting all of APA down. The parts that I'm most concerned with are, I want you to look at all of it, but if you get, because we're mostly interested in citation, so if you get to slide 13, this is where you'll begin to get the formatting of the APA style. You'll see here some formats here. So breeze through that and try to get a sense of the formatting there. And again, if you find other resources about APA or Turabian or other citation resources and you want to share them with our group, go ahead and use Digo to bookmark them and use the citation tag and share with our group, and then they'll show up actually in this list that we've linked from the course. Okay, so there's the two main citation sites I want you to look through and be able to use, because you need to, when you go back to our course, when we go to our assignment instructions, I might have to log in. Okay, good. You'll see for the bibliography, I've asked you to prepare a bibliography in Turabian first, right, using the things you collect in your sources and credibility worksheet, and then revise the bibliography in proper APA style. So I want you to be able to use those two styles. And you may need to find other resources. You may need to use your books, whatever. Use whatever you need, and by all means ask questions if you have them. And then you'll do some outlining later in that assignment. So those are the two citation styles that we'll be interested in. I also just I made a note about this in the news forum, but here's the template link to begin your sources and credibility worksheet. So just click on that and use it as a template like we have done in the past. You'll create a document so you'll say use this template, and then change the name to put your last name in the name of the file, and then share with me, and then complete the assignment, and then I'll take a look at it. So yeah, that's it. The more work we do up front on learning citation styles, the easier life will be for you as you get started writing papers. So it may feel tedious, it may feel unnecessary, or certainly it may feel not interesting to work real hard on figuring out these formats and why they are the way they are and things like that. But if you spend some time now getting that down, then you'll save yourself time down the road when you're really in crunch time writing papers. So anyway, I'll talk to you soon.